Hello kids, my name is Kurt Brown, also known as Saint Rambone. I have a website titled Mobile Audit Club. This picture was drawn by my daughter years ago. She says I was different. She loves me. But I used to believe in the government back then. Now I've changed my style. You see, I was almost killed after working for the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. That's a federal agency. I was a bank examiner. A man had been killed in his office. Billions of dollars were involved. It's a very dangerous business. I'm also a disabled veteran. When I went to work at the FDIC in 1999, I thought I would be treated well. I was wrong. A year after I went to work there, a woman named Sueet told me to drop an EEOC complaint or be terminated. She made me promise not to tell. There was an attorney in the room with us. The man who was in charge of her was a man named George Masa. He was the regional director for the FDIC in San Francisco. He had left the Chicago office, and he had left because at one time because I won't say because, but he had trouble with race relations there, and a man had sued and actually won his case. The EEOC would not hear my case. I'm a disabled veteran. So now, afterward, someone tried to kill me. Why? Because I reported money laundering, and the man before George Masa, who was the regional director, was killed in his office and labeled suicide. So you see, everything you hear about the federal government is not true. Do not believe the lie. As a matter of fact, if you go into accounting or bank examination, I recommend you get established in the private sector first before you ever go to work for the federal government of the United States. As you can see, I brought my Yiddish or Bohemian necktie. I was almost killed. I was forcibly injected numerous times. Now, you might ask why. That's a good question. They knocked me unconscious one time, and I might have been raped. You might be laughing, but it's not funny. They had me live in exile for 3 years. To visit my mother who was dying, I had to drive back and forth from California to Alabama. So you can see on my head here, I have a little target. Now, I was never actually killed that I'm aware of, but I was dealt a horrible blow to my life. I've drawn much art. Here is a picture of me in my death. Here is the myth of Sisyphus. As you can see, we struggle here. Here's our spirit world, here's our flesh world, here's our inner core. We struggle here. Something's always pushing up against us. That's the evil. The evil resides in the government. Do not believe the lies. Some of the government is here, some of it is there. But most of it you will find in relation to yourself is right here because you're struggling. Now, on more art, here, I drew this picture right before 9/11/2001. You see, there's two buildings here cut in two. I can see things in advance. It looks childish. I know it looks funny, but I see things in advance. I'm a bit of a clairvoyant. So you can see there the screaming face. There's the eye of the Creator, and here's judgment, and here's hieroglyphics for myself. Here's myself predicting I would be put in jail. I was put in jail after working for the FDIC for reporting money laundering and murder. For working for the FDIC. The EEOC would not hear my case. The FDIC and their assistants had me put in jail for 112 days. I was released from jail on August 12, 2001. On 9/11/2001, these buildings were knocked down in New York. On 8/11 or August 11, 2001, a man named Thomas Wells was killed in his office in Seattle, Washington. He prosecuted large banking crimes. Now, you might ask why I'm telling you all this. I want you to know the truth about the world. It's never what it seems. As you can see here, here's my little alien man. Here is the shiny night sky. And if I was to get behind this picture, I would be talking to you, but I would still be the same old nice guy. So, boys and girls, do not believe what they tell you about the EEOC. Sueet told me to drop an EEOC complaint or be terminated. She made me promise not to tell. A lawyer was in the office with her. Sueet was Assistant Regional Director of the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. It is not a corporation, it is a government agency. Children, I will show you who I am now. Ooh. I'm the man who drew the picture that's called The Queerest of the Queer. It's a house talisman. I'm selling it for $911 million. Do you want to fight with me, children? Do you want to fight with the Brazilian from San Francisco, Saint Rambon? Do you want to buy my painting, The Queerest of the Queer? Do you want to believe everything the federal government tells you about the EEOC? Urge children to stay off of drugs, stay off of alcohol. They want you dead. They want you to have no lungs and no tongues. Look at the federal agents that come to my home. My dog Bobone had a blowout on his little weenie that day that Jackie Bishop came. He said he was a police officer, but he was the FBI agent. So children, don't believe everything they tell you there. This is Kurt Brown St. Rambo saying, will you be my neighbor? Will you be my neighbor? The queerest of the queer, the fairy possum's here. He's Sheriff Jack Tillman. He's got possums coming out his rear.